So today we will be discussing the code conversion program, that is BCD to binary conversion as well as binary to BCD conversion. There are many applications in which we are in requirement to convert the BCD numbers into the binary numbers as well as binary numbers into the BCD numbers. Because there are many applications in which the decimal number are required to be displayed or decimal number are required to be entered into the microprocessor based instruments. So we must have a program which will be able to convert the BCD number into the binary number and binary number into the BCD number. So if the data which is being entered in the decimal digit, the microprocessor is unable to process because of the limitation of the size of the BCD number, because you know the BCD number starts from 0 and ends with 9. And since each BCD numbers are being represented by 4 binary numbers, so the maximum number which we can represent by the 4 binary digits is 1001, that is 9. And we are not able to represent 1100, that is decimal 10, because decimal 10 is not included in that. You see, similarly 11, 12, 13, or you can say A, B, C, D, E, F in the hexadecimal. So A to F remains unused. So generally what we do, we convert the BCD number into the binary number, and there is a very simple process of making the conversion from the BCD number to the binary number. And the program is very simple. If you understand that how we are able to convert the BCD number into binary number manually, then converting that manual process into the coding process, it's going to give you the program for the conversion. So let us consider that the BCD number is 72. So this is 72 is a decimal number, and depending upon the digit, that is 7 and 2, where it is being placed, the first digit is 2 and the second digit is 7. It means the first position is obtained by 2 and the second position is obtained by 7. And since it is a decimal number, so we can represent this 72 by 7 into 10 plus 2. So this actually means 7 represents 70 based because it is in the second position, and then 72 whenever it is converted. So 7 should be multiplied by 10 and then it should be added with 2. So it means the digit which is given in the form of the BCD number, we have to take individual digit out, means we have to take 2 as well as 7. We take 7 and we multiply it by 10, and then we are going to add the second BCD digit, that is 2, so that we are able to get the 72. So converting this 72 BCD into its binary equivalent requires the multiplication of 10 with the second digit and then adding with the first digit. Because the weight of this number, the position is 2, and the value is 10 into 10 to the power 0. This is 7 into 10 to the power 1. So how we do it manually, if there is a 2-digit BCD, how we will convert into the binary. So what we do, we separate the 8-bit tagged binary number into 2 BCD and tagged binary digits, that is BCD1 and BCD2, that is taking 7 and 2 separately. Now, after converting each digit into its binary value according to its position, and then add both binary values or the numbers which is being obtained as the binary equivalent of the BCD number. So how it is being done? Let us go with an example. Suppose 72 BCD, we have to find out its binary equivalent. So what we do, we take the 72, and 72 can be represented in the binary form as 7 as this one and 2 as this one. We take this part separately and this part separate, keeping all these two parts separate and representing these two parts in the form of a unpacked number by first doing the masking of the most significant nibble and then masking of the least significant nibble. When masking of the most significant nibble is being done, so result will be 0, 0, 0 and 0, 0, 1, 0, so that we are extracting 2 from that. So this is equivalent to 2 decimal. And similarly, extracting this 7, masking these bits, so it will be going to give 0, 0, 0 and 0. So how the second number means the second position digit is taken? We used to mask the lower order nibble and then shifting this 8-bit digit 4 times to the right so that we are able to get this. So this is equivalent to 2 and this is equivalent to 7. And this is marked as BCD1 and this is marked as BCD2. And then what we do, we multiply this digit, this BCD2 by 7. Now multiplication can be done by successive addition process. So 7 has to be multiplied by 10. So 7 will be added successively 10 times so that it will become 70. And then we are going to add the BCD1 to the answer. So this is the manual process, how we are going to convert a BCD number into binary equivalent. Similar to we will be doing the coding process. So let us first understand what is the flow chart for that. Flow chart says that, first of all, the number which is required to be converted into the binary number is taken first. मतलब जो नंबर जिसका आपको बीसीडी में कन्वर्ट, बीसीडी को बाइनरी नंबर में कन्वर्ट करना, पहले उस नंबर को लेंगे. मीनिंग देयर बाय अगर एग्जांपल में हमारा 72 है, सबसे पहले हम 72 को लेंगे. सो वंस वी गेट द नंबर, तो सबसे पहले हम क्या करेंगे, द अपर निबल टू बी मास्क्ड एंड स्टोर दैट नंबर एज BCD1 एज डन इन द एग्जांपल. फिर से वो नंबर लेंगे जिसको हमको बाइनरी में कन्वर्ट करना है. आपकी लोअर निबल को मास्क कर देंगे. लोअर निबल मास्क करने के बाद हम एक्सचेंज करेंगे निबल पोजीशन को, जिससे कि रिजल्ट हमारा स्टोर होकर के BCD2 के फॉर्म में आ जाए. जैसे कि मैंने आपको इस एग्जांपल में भी बताया था कि सबसे पहले हमने अपर निबल को मास्क किया, यानी ये सारे डिजिट को 0 कर दिया, और 0 करने से ये वैल्यू हो गई 0, 0, 0 एंड 0, 0, 1, 0. दूसरे केस में जब 7 को एक्सट्रैक्ट करना होगा तो हम इस वाली निबल को, जो लोअर निबल है, उसको मास्क कर देंगे, यानी इसको 0, 0, 0, 0 कर देंगे, तो हमारी डिजिट हो जाएगी 0, 1, 1, 1 एंड 0, 0, 0, 0. और इसको करने के बाद 4 बिट राइट शिफ्ट कर देंगे, जिससे कि ये 0, 1, 1 राइट हैंड साइड में आ जाए. So the same process is being done in the flowchart also. So first of all, we mask the upper nibble, get the number again, mask the lower nibble, and then exchange the position. So after doing that, what we do, we multiply whatever we are getting as a BCD2. We multiply this number by 10, and then we are going to add BCD1 and going to store the result. This program is very simple. If you try to learn this program, try to understand the program very carefully, patiently, if you listen, definitely you will get that how this program will be done. So starting with the program. So first of all, we have to get the number. Suppose the number is available at 2200. So whatever BCD number is available at 2200, it will be loaded into the accumulator. So the first process to get the number into the accumulator is to use the instruction LDA 2200. So whatever is BCD value which is present at 2200 memory location, it will be loaded in the accumulator. Then we save that number because later on we have to get the number again. So later on it is required. So we store temporarily in the B register. And then we have to mask the upper nibble. Now upper nibble can be masked by using an instruction ANI0F. Whatever BCD value is present in the accumulator, we will do AND operation with 0F. 0F stands for 0, 0, 0, 0 and 1, 1, 1, 1. So it means when we why we are doing ANI operation, because we want to mask the upper nibble. Now upper nibble can be masked. Masking means you have to convert it into 0. Acha, we don't know what is the position, what is the value of D7 bit, D6 bit, D5 bit, D4 bit. This is not known. So that is why we are doing AND operation, and the due to property of the AND operation is when we do AND operation with 0, with any value, when we do AND operation with any value, whether it is 1 or it is 0, the result will be 0, because the property of AND operation is until unless both the digits are 1, the result will be, until unless both the digits are 1, the result will be 0. If both the digits are 1, then only the result will be 1. Otherwise, the result will be 0. So whatever is the value of D7, D6, D5, and D4, it will be masked. It will be converted into 0. And why F? Because on the lower nibble, we don't know what is the value, whether it is 0100 or it is 0010 or 0001. I don't know. So what we want to do, wherever we find 1, it should remain 1. So that is why ANI0F is going to mask the most significant 4 bits. It will reduce to 0 and whatever is the lower nibble value. After getting, now this value is considered to be the BCD1. So we temporarily store this value into the C register. So C register now contains BCD1. Now we get again the BCD value, which was temporarily stored in B register, into the accumulator. And now the purpose is to mask the lower significant 4 bits. And lower significant 4 bits can be masked with F0. Because it is masked with 0F, it is masked with F0. When it is masked with F0, what will happen? The lower nibble will become 0 and the upper nibble will remain as it is. So this is the way by which we can mask the lower nibble. Once we are able to mask the lower nibble, we have to shift, as you have seen, that we have to shift it 4-bit right. So for shifting it 4-bit right, we are using RRC instruction. Now this RRC instruction is going to shift the content of the accumulator 1-bit right. And since we have to do the shifting 4-bit right, so we have to use the RRC instruction 4 times. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And once we are able to do right rotation 4 times, the upper nibble will become now the lower nibble. And then we will save that value into as a BCD2 in the B register. Now, BCD1 value is stored in a C register and BCD2 value is stored in B register. Now, what is the process? Next step? Next step is to multiply whatever you have got in the form of a BCD2, multiply it by 10. Now, there is no instruction by which we can do multiplication. So we will be doing successive addition of B up to 10 times, because we have to multiply the value of B 10 by 10. So what we are going to do, first of all, we are going to clear the accumulator so that accumulator will become 0. And then we move decimal 10 into the D register, which will be working as a multiplier. And then we are going to add D. Whenever we are going to add D, it means it is going to add the content of D with the content of accumulator. So add 10 until B is going to 0. How B will be going, and then we will be decrementing the value of B. So here what we are doing, we have to multiply 7 by 10. If you multiply 7 by 10, the result will be 70. If you multiply 10 by 7, the result will be 70. It means you have to add 7 10 times, or you add 10 7 times. So that is what we are going to do. So once we are putting the value decimal 10 into D register, we are going to add that value of D. So what this add? Now, accumulator is already cleared. It is 0, 0. So whenever we are going to add D, so what will happen? The decimal 10 will be added with the content of accumulator, that is 0. So the accumulator value will become 10. And then we are going to decrement B. So now B contains the BCD2 value. Now BCD2 value, suppose it is 7. So 1 time 10 is added. So what we are going to do, we are going to decrement the content of B. Until it is not equal to 0, we are going to go back. So add D, decrement B, add D, decrement B, add D, decrement B. D is 10 and B is 7. So it means D will be added with the accumulator 10 times, 7 times until the B becomes 0. When this B will become 0, means 10 has been added 7 times. So B will become 0. Once it will become 0, it will not go back. Where it will go, it will come to the next. So what we are going to do? So after the multiplication, you are getting the modified or multiplied BCD2 value. Now the next step says that whatever value you have got, add the value with the BCD1. So add C. BCD1 is available in C register. So add C. So C will be added with the content of accumulator, which is actually nothing. It is BCD2 multiplied by 7 value. It is stored in the accumulator. Because we are doing successive addition here, add D, add D, add D. So D is added with the accumulator 7 times. So 70 is available in accumulator and 2 is available in C register. 2 is available in C register. So we are going to add 2 with 70. And so we are getting the result in the accumulator. Now we can store this result as TA at a memory location because A contains the converted binary value of the BCD. Now A will be stored in the memory location 230 and it is going to store the result and terminate the program. So there is only one loop which is used for the successive addition. Actually, we have to do the multiplication, but we are doing successive addition. So only one loop is required and only one loop is being used. That is add D, decrement B, and jump on no 0 back. So in this way, this is a program, and the crux of this particular program is to mask the nibble. If we have to mask the upper nibble, we will be using ANI 0F. If we have to mask the lower nibble, we will be using ANI F0. And then ANI 0F is being done, so we will be getting BCD1. When ANI F0 is being done, we are getting BCD2, but not exact BCD2 until unless it is shifted 4 times right, so that the upper nibble can become the lower nibble. Once you get all BCD1 and BCD2, you have to adopt a process by which you can do the multiplication of 7 with the BCD2 value, and then we are going to add the converted BCD2 into BCD1 by using add C. And so we are getting the result in the accumulator, and the result of the accumulator will be stored in the memory location. So this is how the program is being done for the BCD to binary conversion. So we will be discussing now the next program, that is binary to BCD conversion. Now, normally what happens that the number are displayed in decimal. So, but the processing which is being done, it is in the binary number. So there are two processes for any microprocessor based system. You have a decimal keyboard. Through that decimal keyboard, you used to enter the number into the instrument. Instrument used to process that number by converting it into the binary number. It means the processing is being done by the instrument in the binary form. And later on, the result has to be displayed on the screen after doing the processing. So it means whenever you enter the program, you enter the data in the BCD form, it requires to be converted into the binary form for the processing. And once processing is being done in binary numbers, it is required to convert back to the BCD number so that it can be displayed on the screen. So that is why we are in requirement of binary to BCD conversion. So the conversion process is very simple, as BCD to binary conversion is going to multiply the individual value by 10. Now in this process, in process of converting binary into BCD, we are going to divide the number by the power of 10. That is by the subtraction method. So if multiplication is being done with the addition method, the division will be done with the subtraction method. So to represent the number in the BCD, it requires 12 bits of 3 BCD digits as BCD3, BCD2, and BCD1. So how this binary to BCD conversion process will go on? So what is the conversion process of binary to BCD? The first step is the maximum number which can be represented by 8 binary digits If you convert it into the decimal number, it is 255. So the first step is, if the number is less than 100, means decimal 100. So go to step 2, if the number is less than 100. Otherwise, divide the number by 100. Or now division, how the division process will be done? Or subtract the number repeatedly until the remainder becomes the less than 100. Add all the quotient, and this after adding all the quotient, that will become the BCD3. That is the most significant BCD digit. Suppose the number is 255. 255 is the decimal number, which is more than 100. So we will adopt step number 1. And by adopting step number 1, first of all, we will subtract 100 from this. When we subtract 100 from this, we will be getting 155. Again, this 155 is more than 100. Again, we subtract 100 from 155 so that we will getting 55. So it means once it is being subtracted, the coefficient was 1. Another time it is being subtracted, the quotient was 2. Now 55 cannot be subtracted from 100. 100 cannot be subtracted from 55 because 55 is less. So we add only these two quotient and BCD3 will become 2. Next process, step number 2. If the number is less than 10, go to step 3. Otherwise, if the number is more than 10, we divide by 10 repeatedly. So until कब तक repeatedly हम divide करते रहेंगे, जब तक कि remainder की value 10 से कम ना हो जाए. And during that, add all the quotient, and that after adding the quotient, you will be getting BCD2. So we have got 55. So 55 minus 10, it is 45. 45 minus 10, it is 35. 35 minus 10, 25. 25 minus 10, 15. 15 minus 10, 5. So it means 5 quotient are there. It means the BCD2 is actually 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is 5. And then step number 3 is, we are getting 5, which is less than 10. Since it is less than 10, so the remainder of whatever we are getting in the form of a remainder for the step number 2, that will be the BCD1 value. And so BCD1 is 1. It means we are extracting 255 from the 255. So first we have extracted 2, then we have extracted 5, then we have extracted 5. So first 2 is BCD3, second 5 is BCD2, and third 5 is BCD1. Now you will be surprised that if it is 255, so why to do this such process? Why not we are extracting directly 2 as BCD3, 5 as BCD5, BCD2, and another 5 as BCD1? Because it is a manual process, and manually we can do it. And 255, whenever it is being fed to the microprocessor is unable to find out what is the value of 255. What is 2, what is 5, it is unable to understand. So that is why we have to adopt a process by subtracting the number by 100. And once the remainder will become less than 100, then subtracting the number by 10. And the time will come when the remainder will become less than 10. So that will become the BCD1. So BCD3, BCD2, and BCD1 can be found out by this process. Now, the flow chart for this particular program is also very simple. Now, if you see, first of all, we start and get the number which has to be required to be converted from binary to BCD. We take that number, and then we subtract 100 decimally repeatedly till the remainder is less than 100. Add all the quotient and assign it as a BCD3. Subtract 10 decimal repeatedly till the remainder is less than 10. Add all the quotient and assign it as BCD2. Remainder from the last step is assigned to BCD1 and store the result and stop. So how it will work? How the program will work? So first of all, we have to get the binary number. Now here I am taking an example of 255 itself. So 255 whenever it is represented in the form of a whenever it is being represented, just wait. So we are taking an example of 255, and this 255 is equivalent to FF hexadecimal number. So we have taken FF. Now FF is stored in the accumulator. Now we have to subtract decimal 100. So we have to store decimal 100 into the certain register. And decimal 100 is equivalent to 64 hexadecimal value. So 64 hexadecimal is stored in B. Actually, we are storing decimal 100 in the B, which is equivalent to 64 hexadecimal. And then we initialize C register. We have initialized C register to hold the value of BCD3. BCD3 is what? Whenever the number has been taken and it has been subtracted by 100, and how many times it is being subtracted, it is going to count the value. So that counter will be stored in C. And for that particular purpose, we have stored the FF. Why we have stored FF? Because the next value after FF will be 0. So what we are doing, we are incrementing C. So it means we are actually initializing the value of C. So whenever INR C is being done, and C previous value of C is FF, and whenever it is incremented by 1, and if you add 0, 1 into this, F and 1 will become 0, and F and 1 will become 0. So the resultant will be 0. So the C register will contain 0, 0. So that is why it is said that initialization process. Now, once we initialize the C register, which will be holding the BCD3 value. So what we are going to do, we are going to subtract decimal 100 from 255. Means FF is subtracted by 64. So that is why we are doing subtract B. If we subtract decimal 100 by from decimal 255, so the result will be stored in the B register itself. So subtract B, what will happen? The B is subtracted from accumulator, and the result, that is decimal 155, will be stored in the accumulator. We have to check whether after doing the subtraction process, whether the remainder has become less than 100 or not. And for that, we are checking the carry flag, because whenever the remainder will become less than 100, the carry flag will be set. So if there is no carry, because when 255 is subtracted by 100, it will be 155. So carry will not be generated. So if carry is not generated, it will go back. So whenever it will go back, it will increment the C. So the previous value of C is 0. Now it will become 1. It means it has been subtracted one time. Then it is again subtracted. Means 155 is now subtracted with 100. So we will be getting 55. Again, there is no carry, because 155 minus 100, it will be getting 55. So again, it will going back, and it is going to increment the value of C. So C will become 2. It means C has become 2. Now again, it is being subtracted. Now accumulator contains 55 and B contains 100. Now 55 minus 100, it is going to generate a carry, because borrow has to be taken if you want to subtract 100 from 55. So since carry has been generated, so it will not repeat. It will came to know that the remainder has become less than 100. So what will happen? So what will happen? We are going to add B again. Whenever we are going to, since here we have already subtracted and carry has been generated. So it was 55 in the accumulator and 100 in the B register. And when 55 is subtracted with 100, the result will be minus 45. And whenever we want to get the actual value, again, we are going to add the value B. So B is actually 100 and accumulator is minus 45. So minus 45 plus 100, that will give you the result 55. So it means by doing this operation, you get the originality of the number and you will store the B, you will store the 55 into the accumulator. Now, the 55 has to be subtracted from 10. So we are using B register to store decimal 10. And then we are in requirement of a certain counter who will be storing the result of BCD2. So for that, as we have initialized C register for counting of BCD3, we have initialized D register for counting of BCD2 by FF. And then we increment it by 1. Whenever it is incremented by 1, the D content will become 0, 0. And then we start subtraction. Now it is being subtraction. Subtract content of B from accumulator. Accumulator contains 55 and B contains here now 10. So 55 minus 10, 45. So carry will not be generated, it will go back. So it will increment. So D will become 1. Again subtracted, 45 minus 10, 35. It is carry is not generated, it will go again. So in this way, it will repeat the process until unless D becomes 5. When D will become 5, we are going to subtract B. It means the remainder will be 5. 5 is subtracted from 10, so carry will be generated. Once carry will be generated, it will not go back. And so we have to store. Now, D contains BCD2, C contains BCD1. And now we are adding B again, similarly to get the originality of number. So minus 5 plus 10, that will be getting 5. So 5 will be stored. So what we do, the content of BCD1 is stored at 22001, 2201. And then we convert with BCD2 value is available in D. So D is copied in A, and this value is copied at STA 2202. So BCD2 value is stored at next memory location. Again, C register contains the BCD3. So BCD3 value is copied in accumulator, and then after getting it into the accumulator, the content will be stored in 2203. And though we are going to call. So 2201 contains BCD1, 2202 contains BCD2, and 2203 contains the BCD3. So you will enjoy if you try to understand the program. Very easy program. First of all, the actual number is taken, and then it is subtract for requirement of subtracting it by 100. So we are in requirement of loading a number 100 into the B register and initializing a certain register which can hold the value of BCD3, and then we are incrementing so that it is actually the initialization process. C will become 0. Then 255 is subtracted from 100 is 100. So it will become 155, 155. So carry will not be generated. It will go back. It will go 2 times. So C will become 2. So C will store BCD3. Similarly, we are getting 55 in the accumulator. 55 is subtracted with 10 because 10 is required to be stored in the B register, and so on. So in this way, this program will work. And the way by which, if you move ahead from as whenever we are converting BCD number into the binary number, we are multiplying the individual digit by 10. In this case, we are going to divide the individual number by 100 or by 10. While doing the BCD2 binary operation, we have to do multiplication. So we are doing a successive repetition, successive addition. But in case of binary to BCD number, instead of multiplication, we have to do division. So we are, instead of doing division, we are doing successive subtraction. So in this way, the program for the BCD binary number to BCD